as we come and do this, Lord God, that, as I said, for myself, it's just a thing to not get clicks, not get views, just to create a space for men and women, but mainly men, to show vulnerability. Good morning and happy Friday. It is a bit chilly, but I forget what episode this is, but me and EJ, we decided that we wanted to catch up again and talk. But this time I said to him, bro, let's just meet up, not have our talk, and then when we record, just talk.
Then Billy, cut it out.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut the bullshit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cut the bullshit.
So
Sorry.
happy Friday. Hope you've all been maybe warm in bed already or at work, but here we are down at the lake.
Speaking of that, actually, that's an interesting one. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, okay.
How are you in the morning when you get up? Do you get up and go? How do you operate?
When you mean get up and go, what do you mean?
When you're waking up, are you eyes wide open, or do you like to chill for a bit? Maybe give you 5, maybe 10. 20?
Lately, sometimes I've been waking up before my alarm.
Yeah.
Like an hour before my alarm.
Yeah.
And then, but if my alarm goes off, I get up, go to the toilet, then I go straight and have a shower.
Yeah.
Then lately, I've been first having a nice warm shower, but then for the last 30 seconds, I have a cold shower. I turn it cold and I just stand under there for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And it wakes me up.
It wakes you up. You have no choice then. But then you do that, right? And then you don't feel the cold anymore because you're like, bang.
Yeah, I'm on. And then it's like, yeah.
How do you feel about waking up before your alarm though?
I love it.
Yeah? You beat your alarm? Because you wake up at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, sometimes 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm just in that drive, so like I'll explain more, but I'm just like, even the other night, it was around 10, and I was like, I don't even want to go to sleep. I already want it to be like 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. Every day there's something to do.
Yeah, so the reason why you're looking forward to the next day, maybe. Like, that's why you're waking up and you're like, hell yeah.
Yeah, what can
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for me,
amazing.
Reason why I go to the gym in the morning, yes, I enjoy the train.
Yeah.
First, because my body is at the place where it can be, and when you can't do that for many months, you just realize the simple little things of what we can take for granted. So I'd say that's probably helps me get up before my alarm sometimes, and knowing that when I was in those setbacks, it was hard to get out of bed and I didn't want to. But now that I know I have a working body, what's my reason?
Exactly. And that's gratefulness, right?
Correct. 100%, that's gratefulness. And so I think that's another drive. And then the next thing for me of going to the gym, because as I've stepped back from bodybuilding, of competitive bodybuilder, I go to the gym, I train with a mate, I've been teaching him and helping him out through hard things. But my other thing is I go to the gym to see who I can encourage or give a word to, even if it's a stranger, because someone's day starts like this. If you can give them a slight little encouragement, it doesn't even have to be about God, but if you just seen someone do a good set or a pump and you just went up to them and be like, bro, you're looking good, or that was a good set, you've just created that morning to be like that instead of like that, because someone's day is either going to go up or down, and then the trajectory of their day is going to either be shit or good.
Yeah.
And to me, I feel like a slight encouragement word of just being like, bro, that was a good set, is an encouragement word.
Even just like a smile, you know what I mean?
A smile, yeah.
Like a smile, like, you know, when you see people in the gym, you know what I mean? And you're both in there in the morning at like 6 a.m., right? That's challenging in itself, bro. And then like, you look at each other and you smile, like, yeah, we are here. Grateful to be here. But then, like, you know, they could be having a really bad day or have had a bad morning or a bad evening, and they go to the gym, it's hard for them, and you do that, you know, maybe, you change that day for them, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, one of my mates, I spoke to him the other day, and he's in the army.
Yeah.
He told me that every conversation is important.
Absolutely.
Even if you only speak to that person one time, every conversation is important. And this is something that we could go on about, and then we can go into other topics, is I feel like we're in a generation of people already know that it's hard to have hard conversations. My niece, she went on a excursion the other day, and I said to her, I said, okay, I said, what's one thing you got to do? Because I said, do you have plenty of books? And she's like, yep, I got plenty of books. And I was like, okay, what's the next thing you got to do while you're on your excursion? And she's like, what's that? I was like, conversations. And my niece is 12.
Yeah.
And back in our day when we were young, that's all. When we're on the bus, we'd be singing bus songs or whatever or talking.
Yeah.
Now generations, they're just probably, I don't know what they're doing because I'm not on a bus I'm not in that age. But she said, yeah, and she said, oh, I hate conversations. And then she walked off and I was like, no. I was like, Trinity, come back. I said, you being you, don't look at me as your uncle, but you, Trinity, as the person you are, why is that reason you have that? And she gave me the honest answer saying, I just don't know what to say. And I know that there are people out there that can't just think of conversations. I don't have an answer to that because I'm not a doctor and I don't know why, but I know there are people that can't just think of things to talk about. But in my head, hearing that, if people already struggle to have hard conversations, in 5 years' time, people are going to struggle to have even easy conversations.
Do you feel like it's sort of like they don't want to be judged? Maybe you say, like she might be what she has something. I'm sure Trinity's very smart. You know,
she is smart. She
has insight in that. She has the courage to say, I just don't know what to say. Right? She knows the issue, but maybe it's just like feeling. Maybe she it's not what she doesn't know what to say. It's feeling judged on what she has to say.
Possibly.
You know, that could
being
be
a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, it could be a potential. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think when you're in that age too, like you're preteens, becoming a teenager, finding your identity and like finding the people that you meld with, have those conversations that you're generally interested with yourself, and finding common ground with someone else. That's the age where it sort of happens, isn't it?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And I think that's why excursions, and when you look at it now, like when you're going out for school camps, right, or excursions in schools, generally around that age, it sort of like helps young adolescents to find that, puts in that situation where they doesn't force. It is sort of forcing them, but in a way to like build unity among their peers to see how they can grow socializing.
Yes.
So it's good that she ended up going to the excursion. She did, great.
Yeah.
And what did she say? What was the outcomes of, you know?
She enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I didn't go deeper into it because I just hadn't seen her as much, so I haven't really been able to ask her if she had any.
Maybe ask her and see that.
I will
bring that up on the next.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Because like, imagine that, like going into like an excursion, you're already thinking before you're even there, like, oh, I'm worried about I don't want to go because I'm worried. I don't know what to say. I don't like conversating.
And the other thing is, they had no phones on them.
Oh, bet. So you can't even like escape.
Yeah.
You can't even go on, what are they using, Snapchat?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was my next part. I was so intrigued. I was like, I want to talk to her when she comes back.
And so that was no phones because they wanted them to all to be with each other. Connected. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so it was very interesting.
Yeah.
But so true what you're saying. And there is probably little reasons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And as she gets older, maturity and stuff like that. But I do definitely agree. Like even me doing this sort of stuff, it's creating conversation. And I think another reason why I like to do this more is that healthy conversations. Because we are in a world as a society of people just want to text someone with an agenda of, hey, how are you going? Oh, and then at the end of maybe talk for 4 minutes. Hey, while I got you on the phone, can you da-da-da-da-da? When lately something I've been practicing for myself, and I can be honest about it, and it's true, and I can even have confirmation from people of that I've just called people up literally just to be like, have a chat. How's your day been?
Hey, bro.
I helped out a mate do a job the other week, and then he was pouring it the next day, and he called and he was like, what's up? I was like, bro, I was just calling to just see how the job went. He was like, what? I was like, I was just calling to see how the job went. I helped you and I was just intrigued by how the job went.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, thank you, bro.
Yeah.
And that's something I've been practicing of, because everyone has agendas, but for me, I want to practice more of just because to me, people matter. And that's my avenue of what I'm in at the moment and stuff like that. And so doing those random phone calls can make a huge difference to someone, when it could just even be a 5-minute phone call. Sometimes you could call someone and it's actually something they actually really needed at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with especially of no agenda, imagine how you would feel.
I think agenda you mean by like just like calling in a favor, like, or sort of like
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And stuff. And so that would, I reckon that'd feel like an amazing feeling to know that I just got a phone call from a mate. He didn't ask for
Check on
money. He
how
didn't
you-
ask for anything. He didn't ask for a favor.
Yeah.
He just wanted to check in.
Absolutely. Good
And,
morning. How are you?
yeah.
How's your day? Hey, tell me about you. Tell me about how your day went.
100%.
I want to know about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's sweet, bro. Look, it's like you want to foster build and foster. Foster is that right word? You want to foster healthy relationships. Just like just having that chat, man. You called me the other day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to have a chat, and that was great. And we talked about what I was doing, and you talked about what you were doing, bro. And it's cool just to catch up.
Yeah.
And then we saw each other at the gym the other day. I'm like, yeah. Well, we did bring up we definitely should do another podcast. And then at the other day when I bumped you in the gym, I'm like, yeah, we teed up actual time. But yeah, just that phone call when I was in the car, and then you called me. We both had the time to talk, man. That was beautiful, bro. And that's happened a fair few times now with friends of mine, myself and some friends that I go riding with and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
mad.
great. Yeah, it's really good. It's
And
cool.
that's something I've learned.
It's healthy.
It's healthy, exactly.
Healthy. Yeah.
And the second point to that is as well, having friends, but not just friends, having friends that are healthy, that are going to benefit you. So for me, that I've been getting back into God and I've been going to church, and one of my mates, because after church on a night service, they normally go to GYG, have a feed, have a little chat for like 20 minutes or whatever, mingle and stuff like that, and then go home. But I already know these people that I've met through church that are brothers, that I know when I leave that place with my mate, they're not going to be the ones that would be like, oh, he was Billy, like talks behind his back. They actually have genuine care. And I feel like there's a lot of friends or people, and I've probably have friends that they're nice to me when I'm in person, but as soon as I leave, they could say something about me. Fake. Well, and so it's been very good and healthy to know that you can tell when someone's genuine, because they ask you the right questions. They don't just ask you for certain things. They're actually asking you questions to challenge you to become a better man. And then you know that and stuff.
Yeah.
One thing I'd love to share, and it's a testimony, is that it's actually nearly been 2 months, because it's been 7 weeks. So we'll just say 8 weeks, 2 months, round it off, that I've actually haven't watched any pornography, masturbated, lust, or sexual immorality, of even when I've gone to the gym, being mindful of looking at someone. Also, there is a difference between just seeing a pretty girl and just going like, oh, she's pretty.
Yeah.
Then that's nothing wrong with it. It's then what the thoughts,
Appreciating beauty.
beauty.
Yeah, whether shape, size, or form.
Yeah. Instead of like lustful thoughts of looking at her and wanting to think, oh, imagine what it would be like to.
Yeah.
That's where, in my view of things, that's where sin is. Appreciating beauty, like he just said, there's nothing wrong with that, because it's just a compliment and stuff like that. And you don't have to go up and tell him, but it can just be a mind in your head.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for me, I know that's really been God, because first for men here and young, apparently as well in the young youth, it's a big thing that a lot of people struggle with. And it's been normalized, especially on construction sites and stuff like that. If you don't masturbate, if you don't watch porn, they actually probably think you're gay and stuff like that. When really, when you do watch those things, it's doing more harm to your mind and actual harm to how you visualize a woman and how you look at them and how you perceive them and how you even treat them and stuff. And it's not healthy. I'm not a scientist. I don't know all the scientist parts to it, but I know it's just not good for the brain.
Yeah. Or you could be something with your counselling too, right? You'd learn maybe. Do you delve into sexuality and things like that with your?
Not just yet.
No.
It hasn't gone that far yet. It's
Yeah.
talking about, for me, it's talking about diversity between Aboriginals and Torres
Okay.
Strait Islanders
Yeah.
at the moment and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I think that would be a further thing.
Might be components of that too, because I think that's.
I hope so.
I hope so, yeah, because that's an interesting topic, and that would help as well. Like that would help guide you through like when you if you're ever dealing with young adolescents, because that's a big thing. A pressure on that in high school, I think, from my experience, that was the thing. It's like, who's the guy or who's the girl? You know what I mean? Like, and then who's the most attractive? Who's the it person? You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then yeah, I think when you're growing up, being that person is sort of cool, right? And that's where things get mixed up. Then you're sort of like, you got to be comfortable with yourself. Like, I don't feel like I want to sleep around with ladies, or like I don't see them in that way. And some guys were like, yeah, no, I want to like bed many ladies. It's like, well, where is where, what's right and wrong, you know?
Mm.
There.
And it's hard because God did create,
Yeah.
talking from my perspective, God did create urges. Men have urges.
I
And
think scientifically too, it's like, I guess if you look at it scientifically, I know we're talking about religion. Sorry, I'm going
you're
down
right.
this other rabbit
No,
hole.
I'd like to hear what
It's
you're
like,
saying.
just had this conversation with someone else. It's like, I think we're like, you know, if you look at how we've developed, like when we're, you know, as we grow and get older, like our reproductive system is a thing. It's
Yep.
like, you know, ladies, I don't know, able to have children when they're young, like at 17 or something. That's generally when guys start peaking with the testosterone too, you know, and then you get those urges of like finding a partner and then, you know, going and experiencing those things, like, you know,
Correct, yeah.
sexuality. And then that's probably how we geared towards bedding with, you know, sleeping with people,
Yeah.
sleeping with that significant other to then, you know, reproduce.
Correct.
Um,
And I agree with everything
you
you,
know what
say.
I mean? Yeah.
My point of view on that one would be I agree with everything you say,
Go.
but then the damage of that is, okay, women are, yes, meant to give birth.
Yeah.
Men, they want to experience that because that it takes a male and a female to create a baby. But then as well, what is their morals at that point?
Yeah,
because
you're right.
then
Yeah.
so many people, they could be in a place of not ready to have kids and they're experimenting, and there's next minute, I know from being on Centrelink, a girl, if she has kids, they get a pretty decent Centrelink payment. And then that's how broken families happen and stuff. And then it becomes to the point of maybe not having fathers around. And I think our era and stuff, there's been a lot of families that don't have male figures around. That's why you see so many men now struggling with things and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You don't see, it's very rare to see a family that have both mum and dads together still.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's important to have that mum and dad sort of set up. Not saying that it's, if you don't, it's
the end of the
it's
world.
the end of the world. No,
No.
not at all. I think if you're gonna have a child, for a man, like this is my viewpoint, you know, everyone's different, is that you're a family man, you know what I mean? That's your priority. If you choose to have a child, that's like everyone has a choice, right? You have a child, you bring it into this world, that is your job. That is your priority now, you know?
Do you know how many, like, I've spoken to so many
You
people.
make it work.
How many men don't look at it that way?
Yeah, I hear that,
And
it
I
breaks
hear
my
that,
heart.
and
It's
it breaks my heart.
frustrating.
It frustrates me.
Frustrating,
I'm
bro.
like, in my head, I'm like, if I had a kid, and I put
That's
my
it.
like if you've made your bed, you sleep in it,
Absolutely.
sort of thing.
Absolutely.
And in my head, I can't wrap it around my head.
You make that decision when you you know, get into that and with another lady, and then if you want to go down that path, you deal with it. You know what I mean? You don't. There's
Most
no
of
turning
them
back.
avoid child.
That's
if
a
they
lot.
don't-
Someone's life.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and if they don't want to be that woman, the amount of times that I've heard that
Simple.
they don't pay child support and they
Yeah.
make the mother pay for everything, or
Yeah.
or if they have to meet halfway, they make the mother have to drive the whole way.
Yeah.
And like obviously vice versa too, not just attacking women, men and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
absolutely. It's the other way. You
it's-
both make it work. It's
Yeah.
a team. It's a team effort.
Yeah, but I've heard it so many times. In my head, I just cannot understand
Yeah.
how a male, if I had a kid, I could never do that.
Though, or it just come to my mind now, like there is situations where like you know, it goes both ways. A team, so
Yeah.
definitely emphasize the team. Because there's some guys I know who just like it's like it gets to the point where the lady is physically like and emotionally abusive
Fair.
in the relationship to the point where he's there also providing and being everything for
Correct.
that person
Correct.
and the family, and like very family orientated, you know, comes from a very family orientated background, etc., culturally as well. And then this lady is just sees that, takes advantage of it, and knows that he won't, you know, go to the extent of leaving the family, and then becomes abusive and emotionally, like physically and emotionally abusive, to where like there's only so much that a man can take, right?
Correct.
And a woman, you know, goes both ways, and it can't work. But then the children shouldn't suffer. So he's done everything in his power to still also be there for the children, and I see it, and it's beautiful, man, because it makes everyone's life harder. It makes his life more difficult, her life, the baby mama's life more difficult, and the children too, man.
Yeah.
But then he's still like, I'll go speak about that scenario. She's still like abusive and stuff. He's with someone else, but she's still making it life hard for him to even see the children when he's making every effort to go and see them, and you know, take effort for them financially, you know, spending time with them. And it's heartbreaking, because it's like that's very selfish in that scenario for the lady in this case to be like that, because you should just think about the children. If the relationship didn't work, at least don't make it hard for
the kid and the dad to have the relationship.
Exactly.
I've heard that too. Heaps of times. But I think I've been nearly 2 months of no pornography, not even thinking about women and stuff like that. I'm putting my full foot. The way I like to explain it is, you know, when we're in a swimming pool and like you're dipping your toe in and out, in and out, in and out to see how cold it is. I'm at that place with God in myself of that I've just put my whole foot in, and nothing will take that foot out of me. I have things of how I've beaten it. I've kept myself busy, obviously, in good, productive ways. I've been very mindful. I think the biggest thing is mindful of what I listen to 24/7 throughout the day. I only listen to Christian worship. That's my thing. I've been very mindful of what I watch. I've been very mindful of all these things that can create little gaps to let temptation of desires want to fall back in there. So I'm taking action and stuff. But then with being obedient with God and taking action, He's helped me through that. And I just want to share that testimony, because I know there's a lot of men out there that when you do it, you feel so guilty, you feel so ashamed, and you're like, but there's some men there isn't, and stuff like that. But if you do struggle with it, reach out to me, and I'll help you the best that I
100%.
can, and I'm here to always talk.
And I think you'll find, like, if you did, because I've been down that too, like clarity. You don't get yourself busy to the point where you're not even thinking about it anymore. You put things in place where you're like, you go to the gym, you know, you in your case, you're listening to Christian worship to reinforce that for yourself, and not so you don't go down that avenue of, you know, fulfilling those needs for lust and things like that.
Yes.
You know, so you're keeping yourself in check, and once you do that enough, like eventually you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
And then you're clear. It's clear, because you're not thinking about, oh yeah, man, I'm really feeling, you know what I mean? Urge. I'll just go relieve.
Yeah.
Nah, you use it as fuel now.
Yeah. It's
Absolutely.
crazy. And I wasn't doing it every day, but I'll do it like regularly. But now I just haven't even thought of it, and so it's just crazy how that's actually broken off.
Yeah.
And
then if you have that sort of, sorry, we're going on to relationship.
There you go, right?
If you have that thought, like you go in a relationship, it's not about lust anymore. It's about actual connection. You know what I mean? And I think that's also a contributor to like how people are getting hurt nowadays. Back to old podcasts as well. You know what I mean? It's like, there's like a superficial level. It's like you see a girl who's like, you know, she's beautiful, like, you know, sexy, right? You know, like, oh man, things that you would maybe want to do to her based off of like what you perceived online.
Yeah.
Superficial level.
Yeah.
That you look past, that you don't even consider, like, how is she as a person, you know what I mean? Or how am I as a person? How am I as a person thinking about this woman in that way? Is it really based, is our relationship really based on a connection that we can both, you know, get real deep into?
Yeah.
Or is it just because we just attract to each other? But, you know, if you're an attractive guy, you're an attractive female, you get together, you're like, yeah, it's just we look good.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Is it deeper than that? I don't know. You have to figure that out.
Yeah.
to figure that out. Maybe maybe we can talk to someone who's probably can admit to being like that. Maybe.
100%. I think as well, even marriages and stuff like that, men that still do it, I think that affects marriages, relationships. I'm not married, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So
it's like language too. It's like how you speak
correct.
with your peers and to yourself, right? You can be guys like in marriages, right? And they're talking with the boys. Oh, look at this chick. Look at this. Look at this. You know,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
you see it on the job site. I'm like, bro, like keep that away. I'm like that for me personally. Like, bro, keep that away from me, man. I don't care.
Yeah.
If I'm with especially if I'm with someone, I don't want to see that, bro.
Yeah.
I'll like join in and be like, okay, just so then you're like sort of you're
Yeah.
melding with, but like that just goes in here and out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
I don't
then
need that.
and then they go back home and then they come back to work and being like, my wife has been like this and this, but are you actually checking yourself and checking the things that you're actually you're putting your mind into?
Absolutely.
Because if you could actually clear your mind from that,
You can see the beauty with your relationship, bro.
correct.
Absolutely.
And when
Right.
you're engaging with that your partner in sex, are you visualizing that other stuff or are you visualizing her? You should be visualizing her
In the moment.
in the moment
you're sharing that.
and sharing that love, and then
Love making.
love making, exactly. Burnout pressure. Okay,
on,
perfect.
go.
Let's do that. So I was actually talking to my mate at church, and he's someone that I've invited to church, and he wanted to get his faith back on track. He's been coming to church with me, but he's the type of guy that he's put his foot down, boom, straight to the pedal. He's going 1,000 miles an hour and just burning himself out and stuff. And I was in worship, and I felt like God put on my heart. So I believe I believe in the Holy Spirit, and I believe sometimes I could have words that I believe God has wanted me to share to this person. And the picture that I got that I shared to him, and he said that actually means a lot to me and actually makes sense, is that I said, okay, picture yourself in a rowing boat and you have a destination that you're heading to. You are rowing your shit ass out of it. You are pumping it.
Pub it.
And what's going to happen? You're going to burn out because you're going to get tired. Because first rowing, even just rowing itself, is hard. And your waves and stuff like that. I said to him, I feel like God is wanting to let you know is it's okay to take a breath. It's okay to ease on the row. Doesn't mean you're stopping. Sometimes even if you do just take a moment and then just, instead of going rolling like this and just go gentle row so you can catch your breath again, that sometimes when people feel like when they have the mindset of going 100 miles an hour, and if they do just slow down, in their head they feel like they're actually stopping and not progressing. And that is just a trick of the enemy to say you're not succeeding. When realistically, if he just slows down and gives himself that moment of a breath to get his energy back up, then he can go 100 miles an hour again. Self-aware, because what happens when you're burnt out, I like to use it in an analogy of like even footy. What do they say? Run out the forwards, run out the forwards, run out the forwards. They're bigger guys. Then next minute, once they get tired out, what happens? The backs, the centers, the wingers come in. They use their speed to get around them and stuff like that. And that's the very exact same thing. So don't always feel like if you're going 100 miles an hour that you need to be going 100 miles an hour all the time. It's okay to slow down. Just chill.
Every now and then.
Every now and then.
Because you wanna have a goal to work towards. Otherwise, you're
100%.
rowing, back to the rowing analogies. Like you're rowing, where are you rowing to?
Correct.
You know what I mean? You want to have that, but also take time. As I said, I put on my story the other week. Like, remember to take time for yourself, right? It keeps you grounded. I think that's what you refer to as grounding.
Yeah.
Take a moment to yourself. Be that how many minutes you need. 5 minutes, half an hour, a whole day, even go on a holiday.
100%.
You know what I mean? And be grateful. Back again to gratefulness. How far you've come. Imagine like, and if you progressed, however small or large that may be, compare it to like how you were, the week before or even the year before. See how far you've come. Like think about your situation in terms of like you had that injury. You told me this in the car on the way here. I think you mentioned it in the podcast earlier. The reason why you get up to go to the gym is because, man, this time last year, was it last year? You couldn't even walk. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then your goal, I don't know if it was maybe one of your goals, like I'm going to get back in the gym, otherwise that's where you are now, right? So you work towards that. So you rode that boat.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
You rode, let's appreciate this now. Look at where I can be. You know,
Yeah.
maybe I couldn't even walk.
100%.
Spoke to, and won't mention names, but he's very dear to me. If you're watching this, you probably know who you are. There's one thing is that he ran it up for 3 years with his business, and him and his brother became very successful. Beautiful people. And one thing he told me is like, dude, and one thing he said to me is like, he wished he did more of is enjoying the process, because he rode that boat hard. I mean, he may have hurt himself and hurt others around him, but he got to where he wanted to get to. He's still going. And one thing he told me is like, yeah, dude, you're gonna make it, but just enjoy the process. That's one thing that he wished that he did more of in the 3-year journey building his business. Now he's like, you know, reaping the rewards of his labor. He's like, man, it would be more enjoyable if you did, you know. You know, apply that to anything. You can apply it to your fitness goals, your fitness journey, you know, your journey with God, you know, your journey with work.
Why do you think people find it hard to enjoy the journey?
I think
enjoy the process of the journey. Do you reckon that has anything to do with social media?
I think that would have influence, because like if you put yourself out, like being accountable not just to yourself but the people that you promote yourself to, you know, like you say, like, oh look, 75 hard's a good one. You put 75 hard up, like you say, oh, I'm starting 75 hard today, right? You put it on socials, right? Now you're accountable not only to yourself but the people that you've told it to, your family, your friends, people who are watching or engaging with your with your social media. That you keep it accountable. It's like those guys who's like, okay, I'm going to do 100 push-ups a day, and they post it up every day, right? Now you're accountable, expected to do it the next day. Maybe people won't even watch it or care, but then it's for yourself. It's like, that's why they would do it, right?
And that's what I've done.
And that's what you've done, and that's great. You know, if that gets you up to do 100 push-ups a day, look, you're benefiting yourself. You're going to, you know, become more fitter. You're going to get stronger in your upper body or whatever. I think it becomes like a tunnel vision. Like that's, and then you forget about everything else. Sorry, probably a bad comparison to make, but how I say what he shared with me, and that's like he just got too tunnel visioned, right? He saw a goal, he wanted to achieve it. He'll do anything it takes to get there. Worked out, but then he didn't enjoy it. People, you know, he didn't enjoy it, and he's like, and that's one thing he told me to resonate with. Is like, yeah, definitely just enjoy the process, man. It just makes it easier. 100%. Makes you you're gonna be happier. And I think, not that that's really should be anyone's goal, is just being happy, because you can't be happy. Like, you could choose to be happy every day, but
it's an emotion. It's up and down.
It's an emotion. Yeah, it's up and down, and it's valid to feel like crap some days. You know.
Yeah.
Just not dwelling on it. I think you got to pull yourself out of that.
100%. You don't want to sit and dwell on it.
And so you fall back on the things that you staple things, like going to the gym, communicating with family and friends. You know, eating well, being well with spirituality. You know, and just remembering to take time for yourself is 5 key points that you just fall back to if it gets too hard to row that boat.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
I agree with everything you just said. I agree with everything you just said.
Because you can row that boat, right? You can row that boat non-stop. You know, you can row that boat still and be half dead rowing that boat, dude. But then you're not enjoying it, are you?
No.
Yeah, so then just take 5 minutes of your day, just fall back on those 5 things.
Yeah.
And keep rolling that boat.
Yeah. And if you have those shitty days, that's okay.
And that's okay. 100%.
Just as long as you keep taking those steps forward.
Yeah. In those days, validate those feelings when you feel like shit, and then just consume it and make it be like, all right, I feel like shit. But then don't allow yourself to be sucked into that.
Correct.
You
I agree.
I mean? It sounds easier. It's easier said than done.
100%.
But if you can practice that, you can you could just like, even if your circumstances don't change, your mindset and your feelings and your emotions can change, right?
Correct.
Give yourself time. Give yourself a deadline as to how long you can feel valid in that experience for and those emotions.
Yeah. Because if you don't, you're suppressing them.
Exactly. So if you don't validate them, you're suppressing them. Then you're just gonna put them in the back.
Correct.
And then over time, maybe that's
builds up,
and then boom, and then people, you don't see them for like a year.
Correct. And that's where I think I sometimes what I post goes like that to people of
consistency
of you need to wake up every day, be motivated and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And I'm the type of person.
Motivation, consistency. Motivation comes and goes. Consistency is what's going to keep being there.
Correct.
Get up every morning. If you hate going to the gym at 4 in the morning because it's cold shit outside and you've just had a cold shower, consistency. I'm going to make it happen.
100%.
You know what I mean? And that might change. Maybe you like...
and premeditate that, like
Yeah.
the day before. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Know what you're going to do the day before.
Yeah. Just key things. I'm going to go to the gym. Or I'm going to have a rest day tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just staying true to that.
100%. And I love that. And yeah, and so one thing, like, as he was just saying, I feel like it's okay to validate those days where they feel bad. Because one thing I've learned over the months is when you have a hurdle, and I've shared this before, but when you have a hurdle and you have something in front of you, it's exactly talking about the process of you enjoying the process of it all. Because if you're going towards something and you're enjoying the process, whatever that goal is, there's going to be walls, there's going to be hurdles that you're going to come across. But as well, sometimes when we get to those hurdles, we wish them away so quickly. We're like, ah. And then it's so funny, once you actually overcome it, next minute our brain thinks of something else. So I've learned from my thing is when you have a hurdle, don't wish it away so quickly, because the next day or 2 weeks later, there's going to be something else.
Yeah.
There's going to be something else. And so don't wish that away, because the next hurdle could probably be even harder. So, and that can help with enjoying the process of not wishing away the hurdles, because in the process there's going to be hurdles. So enjoy the hard struggles. But then when you have the hard struggles and you have those hard days, admit them, be self-aware to them, don't sit in them, be disciplined, do the little key factors, allow yourself to feel it so you don't suppress it, so it doesn't just build up and then one day later it blows up in your face.
Absolutely.
And just keep moving forward.
One thing on that, like with we say like let it validate it. Like that can be in the form of self-talk. It's like I actually talk to depending how you look at it, I'll say to myself, it's okay. Like I'll say to myself in the head, I'll actually say it out loud. It's okay to feel how I feel. That's fine. Owning up to it is like the first step, right? And admitting that you have something shit happen. It's like, yeah, it's okay. Self-talk.
Yep.
I'm a big believer in that. It's like, yeah, it's okay. This is a shit feeling. Like, it's fine. Then end up smiling about it, hey. Give it 5 minutes and just be like, it is what it is. That's a key phrase that I live by. And the guys that like, it's funny because the people that I've formed really good bonds with now, we all say it. It is what it is. Hey, life goes on. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
So like me, for example, it's talking about, it's been 3 weeks now. I actually had a car accident.
Yeah.
And it's not completely my fault. I posted that to show that it's okay, and that I actually had peace in that scenario when there could be so many people being pissed off and thinking about financial needs and stuff like that, or not having a car and what's their next step and everything like that. And that's why I shared that. Yeah, so if you're going through things, admit it, don't sit in it,
Don't sit in it, absolutely, and go through it. Hell yeah,
and keep pushing on.
I love that.
I'm gonna get a tattoo.
We're gonna get tattoos. I'll get it is what it is, and then you get that.
Boy here, he's put down some dot points, and it's really just triggered me and stuff like that. It says, social media shapes identity, real connection or just noises. So a big thing for me is what I believe in is I find my identity in Jesus. And that is a solid foundation. I feel like whatever, you don't have to believe in God. Obviously, that's what I'm going to share. But you need to find identity in something solid and foundation, whatever it may be. Don't find your identity in a career, because that career could just go downfall. And then I remember talking to my counselor about this when I had him on. Where are you putting your identity in? People that are career driven, obviously, they're in the motion of building a business. Yes, that's good.
Or working.
Business, and stuff. And you need to apply yourself to create a business. I totally understand that. But that business could go down one day, and then you just lost your identity because your whole identity was in that business, and then you feel lost, and then you turn to drugs, and then you turn to alcohol, and then you turn to things
so extreme.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so, but so true, because where is your identity? For me, of me stepping back from bodybuilding, I felt like that was all I had. But God said to me, no, that is not all you had. You have me. And people that are in the bodybuilding scene would know, when you do comps, you got to apply yourself to the place of that is your identity, because it is a daily thing, off season, on season. It's an everyday thing as soon as you wake up to go to sleep and everything like that. And whatever you do, you build your identity in that. And I feel like social media is creating so many avenues of people finding identity in what I personally believe. People can take it the wrong way, but I believe that things that are shown on social media of where to put your identity are not correct in certain things. And yeah, but what's your thoughts on it?
Oh yeah, I think it gets to the point. It even gets like an example of that too. Is I was told by a friend of mine, someone I know, about their experience with someone that there was that they knew who would actually, because they wanted to get amongst this sort of crowd and engage with this person who had a bit of influence in social media, that they would actually change how they acted and who they actually, what their belief system was.
Okay.
Yeah, not religion, but like what they believed in terms of like, what was it? It was surrounding a pretty controversial topic, and they would like they changed their whole like perception on this thing. Like, so they would believe, they didn't believe, but then they believed it. They all of a sudden believed because they wanted to be within this group of people, because they had influence on social media.
Yeah.
Just for engagement. And I think social media can have that effect too for people, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So you talk about like an influencer creating their identity, and that's their identity. They're influencer.
And because they're like, oh, like, you know, maybe they could see potential, and if there was a gain to be had in knowing this person, then they would just change how they were as a person to gain respect and be accepted by this influencer.
Funny you say that. And that's something I've, over my walk over the last few times, and when I've communicated with different people, women or males and stuff like that, of identity, of how I was saying before, so my foot, I nothing's going to change my mind from now on of what my faith is in God. But back in the day when I'd talk to someone, I wouldn't bring up God straight away, or I just wouldn't bring it up if they didn't ask. But now, because that is what my identity is, that is one of the first things I say. And if it doesn't gel with them, that's okay. We don't need to talk anymore. But I'm not gonna change my identity just to fit into a person's group or crowd.
Yeah.
And
stay true to yourself. Be genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the right people will acknowledge you.
Yeah.
The right people will align with you.
Yes.
If you just stick to what is actually your true identity.
Your truth.
Your truth.
Yeah.
100%.
There it is. We're dropping bombs, eh?
Boom. This has probably encouraged someone, motivated someone. Lord, I just thank you for whoever's listened to this, that Lord God bless them. Hopefully it's meant something to them. It's resonated with them. It's helped men that in this day and age, that Lord God, that I definitely really believe that brotherhood and finding good brotherhood is an important thing for all men, talking from a man, and that we can get closer and to encourage each other and be okay to share and be open.
To share your wins too, because the real ones too want to see you win, right? And
Amen.
grow. Absolutely.
I think that's actually as well a good point too.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And that's why you're here.
Because we're not always talking about like we obviously like we struggle, but then you struggle and you win, right? That's
100%.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So everything what I just said, take on board. But actually, I think that's the perfect way to finish. Is when you have your wins,
share those too.
Share those wins.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.